Hello. As the tractor's finished, it's time to start the trailer. As you can see, I've started and I've done quite a bit, to be honest. Got the whole swan neck put together. I've painted this because if you look inside, there's no way you'd get half of this painted without the further you go, the less chance there is of getting it painted properly. I've used masking where I can see it's obvious that we're going to put stuff on, which is places like this here. There's all the air connections, all the hydraulic connections for the hoses, up here, down these, yeah. There's hydraulic connections on the end of these rams, hydraulic connections on the end of those rams. So there's quite a lot of masking on there. There's two cable guides that go on here, and they're for the 50-ton winches that are on the back of the tractor. Obviously, as most of you know, the cables come off the back of the tractor, go through the eye there. There's a gap in it so that you can feed it through without threading it, then over the top of that reel and off to whatever they're dragging onto the back of the machine, onto the back of the trailer. So that's those two. This winch here, fairly simple to put together. However, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, this cable here eventually will be painted dark silver to represent a steel cable, and it goes threaded through the eye of a hook that goes over the leg of it there. In the kit they supply you with basically a piece of cotton, and when you put it on, it doesn't look real at all. It looks like a piece of cotton. So I painted a piece to see what that would look like, and that looked like a painted piece of cotton. And the amount of money I've spent on this, I don't think that's acceptable. So what I've done is, again, a piece of copper wire, and on the reel at the back of the handle there, wound that round as though it would be in real life, threaded it through, fastened it onto the hook at the end there, and when that's painted, that will look realistic because it is a piece of metal cable, simple as that. The wheels, for the spare wheels, they had to be painted before you put them on because otherwise you get paint all over your tyres. So they're done. These photo etch steps, there are 3 sets of them, and fairly straightforward to bend, but what you've got to be careful of is bending them in the correct direction. That little plastic bit that's glued onto the back of that one, it is on the back. You probably won't be able to see it on the video there. Now there are rivet holes and bolt holes where the photo etch is detailed so that they show at the front, so you're going to have to be careful to bend those the right way round. Also got 2, they call them brass pins. It's actually a piece of copper wire that's included in the kit. I think you can see them more clearly if I hold it like that. I've glued them on with a little bit of super glue and then reinforced them with some Gorilla Glue so that when they fit onto the trailer, that's the other way up, they can be lifted like so and lowered like so, and they hinge into these cable guides. A bit difficult to do this when I'm looking at a screen and down here, but they do hook into those cable guides. I don't think there's anything particularly difficult with it. The assembly for the 2 rams on the inside there is really quite straightforward. However, it says in the instructions that you shouldn't use any cement on them, which is a bit of an oddity, because when you put them in at this point here, you need to glue that in, and you need to glue the two rams to the bottom of that cross member, which makes them effectively a solid unit. So it's not really worth spending a huge amount of time trying to put those together without any adhesive. It helps align them that they've got no adhesive, but that's about all. This little piece here is an oddity. It balances on top of that bit there, and then the four edge bits glue to the sides there, but they're not supported at all. There's no way to support them, so you've got to balance them very carefully into that position. And again, I used a normal adhesive and backed the back of it up with a bit of Gorilla Glue so that it was a bit more substantial. Other than that, really quite easy. It's obviously, as I say, it's painted so that I can get in there and paint it all. Otherwise, you'd see bits of yellow plastic all over the finished model. When I scrape all the masking off, it'll be a case of patching paintwork up with a brush. But what I intend to do next is all this hose work. There's hoses down there, and then on the next page, hoses and hoses. There's 2, 4, 6, there's 8 in total that need to go through there, which is going to make it fairly crowded, I would imagine. And there aren't any more hoses on there, which is a good thing. No, and then it's into the main trailer. So that's what I'm going to start on next, which is from here and down to underneath the pin, which on the real model goes from those two rams, 4 hoses from those two, 4 hoses from those two rams. They go all the way through here, down the side, and then onto those connections there. The next lot of hoses comes off these 4 connections and goes down and onto those connections there. I'm guessing that is the hydraulic oil tank. It doesn't make any sense if it's not. For some reason, you may be able to see it there, those 4 connections, there's no way to get anything in there to connect them to, and they don't go anywhere. But I'm guessing that when those little fellas over the top of it, you won't see them. Other than that, that's where I'm up to, and it's carry on from there. As usual, any questions, any comments, good or bad, please leave them at the bottom. And when I've got a bit further on, in fact when I've got all those hoses on, I'll make another video and we'll see where we're up to. Ta-da!